Do you think that broccoli is healthy? Or do you think that broccoli are so unhealthy that humanity shall throw it away in the garbage? You probably ask yourself, what do these questions have to do with the topic of today's video, confirmation bias? And actually, nothing. I will just use broccoli as an example throughout this video. So, what is confirmation bias? How does it influence our life and how does it appear in our heads? More about that in a moment. But obviously before we begin, I have to tell you that this is Yury Experience, and here I share my various experiences about different topics. I do 2 videos per week, Mondays and Thursdays. If you will enjoy this video, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Obviously we start with the definition. Here is an official definition, and in my own words, confirmation bias is a way of thinking, way of acting, where we are searching for information, interpreting information and remembering information in a way that it supports our already existing ideas. So basically you have some opinion in your head and you have a question that is based on this opinion, and instead of researching it in the different ways of thinking, like is it like that or is it not like that, is it dangerous, is it healthy, is it whatnot, you just go for a positive way of thinking. You just go, it is healthy, right? It is like that, right? I'm sure it is like that, so is it like that? Can you please prove me to be right? Basically, you are not searching for truth, you are searching for a proof that your information is true. But it doesn't have to be the case. On a lot of occasions, confirmation bias is strongly connected with emotions, but to be honest with you, it is not always the truth. Obviously, as human beings, if something is important to us, we do our best to make it appear to be true, to explain to other people in a way that it is true, so everybody knows that it is true. But some research also shown that not always it is something that is strongly connected with our emotions or our feelings. Sometimes it's just like the fact that we knew about and we don't want to switch this fact. We already have the fact. Why do we need another one? And the last general fact, confirmation bias is not something that only some group of people has. Not only stupid people have confirmation bias, not only intellectual people has confirmation bias, not only some people of some specific ethnic group has confirmation bias. Pretty much every person can have and has confirmation bias. How does confirmation bias appear in our way of acting, way of thinking? And there are 3 ways how it does it. And the first one is biased search. You just search for information that proves your opinion, and you don't search for information that can or may or will or must disprove it. Basically, you have an opinion that broccoli is healthy, and if you try to research about it, you are googling, for example, broccoli is healthy. But you don't Google broccoli is unhealthy. You ask your friends, do you think that broccolis are healthy? And you don't ask them, do you think that broccolis are unhealthy? With that, you decrease the probability that information that disproves your opinion will find you, will come to you. That these opinions or this knowledge or maybe this research will find your way in your head. Another second way how confirmation bias interacts with our life is biased interpretation. So there you are reading some article that actually shall disprove your point. But since your original point is different to the one in the article, it is more difficult for the article to disprove your point because you are strongly believing in your opinion, which is why it is very difficult to disprove it. You have this strong belief, and basically in order to fight this strong belief with level 100, you need at least level 101 paper, or actually level 200 paper. But in order to prove your point, it is enough to have a level 50 paper, because you already have an opinion level 100, and support of level 50 is more than enough. For example, you believe that broccoli is healthy, and if you are trying to research it, you find a paper, there were literally 5 people participating in that paper and only 1 researcher at some really lost university somewhere in the world. But for you, this paper is more than enough. It proves your point. This paper says that broccoli is healthy. It doesn't matter that the quality of the paper is very low, it says it. But then somebody gives you a paper from really popular university with thousands of people participating in it, which says broccoli are not that healthy. And you read through it and you are literally searching for errors, searching for something that proves this point to be wrong, because you have your own point in your head. then when this paper exists, then it shall have errors in it, it shall have mistakes, it shall have lies. And if you are searching strongly enough, you will find it. You will find errors, lies and whatnot. The last third way is biased remembering. Basically, you remember the information that proves your point and you don't remember that clearly the information that doesn't prove your point. Broccoli is healthy example. You remember clearly the visit to the doctor where the doctor said you broccoli is the thing that you should eat every day and it will solve all of your problem of your health in the world. But you don't really remember clearly the situation when your neighbor, like, he had some problem with his stomach and yes, I saw that he ate broccoli, but is it really one lead to another and is it really reliable? You remember something that profits your opinion, that supports your opinion, but something that is not as important for your opinion is not as important to remember. What can confirmation bias lead to? I will provide you 4 examples, and polarization of opinions is the first one. So we have some point in question and opinions about this point are diverging because both of the people, or like both of the groups of people, have different like basic knowledge, different starting opinions. For example, one group of people thinks that broccoli are healthy, another group of people says that broccoli are unhealthy. And if you provide new information to this conversation, like some new research, then one group will use it in order to prove their point and another group will either ignore this piece of knowledge or will use it to a vice versa situation. They will do their best to rotate the information so it serves their purpose, their ideas. If a new research proves that broccoli are healthy, that one of the groups will use this in order to prove their opinion, and this different group will say, no, this research is not that important. There were only like 2 people, 10 people that participated in it, so why shall we care? But if there is like one sentence in terms of, yes, but although this research was done in a good way, we still have some thoughts about broccolis being healthy or not healthy, that exact sentence will be used by the second group as in order to like further separate these opinions, because the research said that result is not conclusive. The research said it, so we cannot use it, which is why broccoli are unhealthy. Next example, believing in disproved information. So we have some information that you learned, and after some time you found out that that information that you learned was disproved. It is wrong, it is a lie, it doesn't matter, it was disproved, but you still like want to believe it, which is why you still believe it, although you have like research and facts and opinions and experience put to your face. But the first opinion was like the best one, right? Like kinda. Example with broccoli. For example, you learned as a child that broccoli is healthy. Then afterwards, if some person will provide you like some research, broccoli are actually not healthy, at first you will probably do your best to like disprove this new piece of information, this disproval of your prior opinions, this disproval of the opinion that broccoli is healthy. What this research says that broccoli is not healthy? I don't believe it. Like just throw it away. Tossed away. It works very similarly in the third example. It is believing in the information that was provided first. The first information you learned is something that you find more reliable, not consciously, unconsciously. The third thing you learned, the more important it is in your like priorities in your head. The example is pretty much same with the previous example about broccoli. You learned it as a child that broccoli is healthy. Then it will be very difficult to like disprove this opinion in your head when you are an adult. That is why it's actually very important to learn proper facts as a child, proper information as a child, because when you will grow up it will be more difficult for you to disprove this information in your head, even though the facts are everywhere. The last fourth example is false correlation or false causation. And there is your opinion that connects some things in this world, and you think that these things are connected to each other, but they are actually not. They are just appear to be like in a causational relationship, so one leads to another because of different opinions. But the facts say it is not like that. But you don't care about the facts, you have this opinion in your head. For example, you think that broccoli leads to stomach ache, and you eat sometimes broccoli and you have stomach ache pretty much much every time after it, and you think, yeah, broccoli probably does it. But then at some point you'll actually look at broccoli and you find out that you don't wash it properly, and actually the actual problem is like using the water that is very dirty for your soup afterwards. So broccoli isn't really a problem. The water is a problem. Basically, it doesn't matter how smart you are, it doesn't matter how much do you like facts, experience, knowledge, opinions, whatnot, emotions. Everything doesn't matter because you also can be biased. What can you do to like reduce the probability of being biased towards the topic that's actually wrong? Do your best to do your research, have as much critical thinking as you can, develop your like skill set in terms of critical thinking. Basically, do your best to be as objective as you can. Like every new information that finds you shall just first come to your head and then come through the filter of your own opinion, experience and whatnot. Is it possible? Completely no. Every freaking person has biases and confirmation bias is one of them. You can just do your best to decrease like the influence of it on your life. Because supporting an idea only just because that idea was first in your head and another idea came later is not always the smart way of living. And by the way, I used broccoli are healthy as a main example in this video, but if we rotate the situation, nothing will change. You can find articles that try to prove that broccoli are unhealthy, and they manage to do it. And some people will only find these articles and will believe in them. They will believe that you eat broccoli, nose falls off. Is it possible? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But the bias can be working both ways. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it is the case, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. And I see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.